Well, the chemical we're talking about today is Chlormequat. And I actually was very unfamiliar with this until I did some research, and I realized that Environmental Working Group did a study on just 14 products in the grocery store, very common products, and compared the amount of Chlormequat that's in these products. What they found was they were all over what the EPA allows as okay. And what they allow is this is safe. But what you need to realize, even at the parts per billion that the EPA and the FDA allow, it's still a harmful chemical. And here's what this chemical can do in your body. Number one, it disrupts fetal growth. Next, it changes how the heads and the bones develop, altering metabolism, delaying development during puberty, changing the sperm's ability to move efficiently, decreasing testosterone production, and harming the nervous system. And so you can see these are very detrimental effects caused by this chemical. Now, in America, the chemical is banned. You can't use this on the farmlands in America. But we are importing our oats from Canada and from China. And when I looked at the top companies who have the highest percentage of this chemical on them, the main company is Quaker. Well, when I looked into the history of Quaker, in 2015, Quaker moved all of their production to China. So all of their oat production is happening in China. Well, China is the #1 contributor to this chemical in our food. So it may not be allowed in our farms here in America, but we're importing the food that is banned here in America. Now, I then went and researched the companies that we recommend for, I have a blog on where to buy the best grains, where to buy grains in bulk. And I contacted most of them. Not everyone was able to get back with me. And they all said, we make sure that our grains meet EPA standards. It's kind of a standard answer, but yet it's still not the answer that we want. And so what they're saying is the grains that they take in meet the standards. In other words, they're not above the limit that is allowed. So even though we ban it, we still allow it, which makes no sense to me. Probably makes no sense to you either. And so what you have to do is you have to buy organic. And then I went into research. Well, if you're buying organic Quaker oats, is that still coming from China where the standards are different? And basically, I don't have that answer. And so my answer to you is we need to take control of this food because it's harming our children and our grandchildren. And we know today so many people are dealing with infertility. The infertility percentages are just astronomical, and people are having to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to have children to overcome the problems that are in their body. And so looking at the study, I want to share with you the top products. Now, they only tested 14 products. Of the 14, only one passed as only having the amount that the EPA allowed, and that was your Special K fruit and yogurt. Not that I'm endorsing that cereal, but it was the only one that passed. The #1 offender was your most famous, your Quaker old-fashioned oats. And #2, it's Walmart Great Value Oats and Honey Granola. #3, with the lesser amount, is Quaker Instant Oatmeal, maple and brown sugar. Then we move down to Quaker Oatmeal Squares, honey and nut. We have the brown sugar squares from Quaker. Quaker is not the only company at fault here. The General Mills companies who makes the Cheerios. So if your children are waking up and saying, I really want my Honey Nut Cheerios today, you're giving them that chemical in their breakfast. You may say, my kids have been eating this for years, they don't have any problems. You may not realize what the problems are until they get married and they want to have children and they're unable to conceive. Or the children they do conceive have so many anomalies that it just saddens the heart. In order to give our children the best ability to provide for their own families when they grow up, to have the stamina, to have the mental capacity, and to have the reproduction in a healthy state, we cannot allow these chemicals in our breakfast foods or in our snacks. So granola, the oat bars, the Cheerios, General Mills, the Quaker Oats, and even the off brands, which are being made by the big companies, they just changed the label. We have to be careful of that. So what I want to share with you today is how you can have the confidence of feeding your family well and even for less money. I have a bowl here of oat berries. And it's just the grain, straight off the stalk. When I buy my grains, I make sure the company has them labeled unsprayed. So that means unsprayed, and they're not GMO, and they're unsprayed. So I don't have to worry about Chlormequat, and I don't have to worry about glyphosate. Neither one of those are going to be sprayed in my grains. You can even get some that are non-organic, and they'll claim they are unsprayed. And if they're grown in America, then the Chlormequat is not allowed. So, but if you're unsure and the place you're buying the grains from is getting them from Canada, which several companies that I recommend do, they get them from Canada, then you're going to need to buy organic, which is not allowed to be sprayed with this chemical. And so when you get the berries, they will store for a very long time. This is the #1 prepper food. It's satiating, it's very, the flavor, the chewiness really satisfies just a lot of people's taste preferences. So it's the perfect prepper food. Next, I recommend you get a flaker. And there's many different varieties out there. I just love this one. This is the Oatmeal flaker. And I've used this in other videos. And you just pour the grain in the top, take this lid off, pour the grain in the top, and then mill it, and you have instant oats. I mean, instant oats. They would be similar to your old-fashioned oats, and not quite your quick oats, but they're almost like an in-between. They're not steel cut. In fact, if you have steel cut and your family doesn't really like the nutty, pieces of it, you can run your steel cuts through this and flake them as well. And that will make everybody happy if they're used to more of the flaked oatmeal. So #1, get a flaker. I'll put a link to it down below. #2, stock up on oat berries. It's the perfect food. And why not just make your breakfast easy with overnight oats? And so what I've done is I've made 3 recipes to show you. I like to use equal ratios of my milk, my oats, and my yogurt. And so if you're using 1/4 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup, or 1/2 a cup, or some people will do equal of milk and oats, and then maybe a little less of the yogurt. Do what you want. It's all going to turn out great. Beyond that, you want a dash of salt to enliven the flavors, and then it's just whatever sweetener or some chia seeds, some fruits, and then all you do is shake it up once you have it nice and put in there. I kind of let this sit for a minute, so it's a little bit harder to shake. Shake it up, and then let it chill a minimum of 3 hours, but overnight is best. You can make all of your breakfasts in just 10 minutes, put them in the refrigerator, and you have an instant breakfast ready to go. All of your family members could do the same thing. Maybe at dinner, everyone does their breakfast, put them in the refrigerator. In the morning, everyone's good to go. And if you're milling your own grain, you know you're in control of your health. Now, I love pretty jars. That just works for me. But if you have peanut butter containers, or you have salsa containers, or you have even like your mayonnaise containers, you can save these, clean them out really well, and use these as your breakfast jars. They're plastic, so they're not going to break if you're carrying them on a trip, and they will work for you without having to invest in something else. So this is what I do. So the different flavors I have is the basic, which you would add your fruit to in the morning when you're getting ready to go out the door, or just at the table. I've got my favorite, my totally favorite is the kiwi. And then the other one is my apple cinnamon. It's almost like having a little bit of apple cake for your breakfast. So you can use applesauce, or you can use chopped apples. I like chopped apples the best. Well, this is what I wanted you to realize. I want you to see these are only 14 products that they tested. Every product in the store wasn't tested. So you can't say, oh, well, she didn't mention this one, so I'm safe. No, you're not safe with any of them. Most of our products are coming from another country, and those countries are using the spray. So protect your health, protect your family. This is a very serious chemical. You don't need it. God didn't design you to need this chemical. You were designed to eat real foods given to us from a real God who loves you with a real amazing love. Well, thanks for letting me share this with you and to share God's recipe for excellent health. If you want to learn more about the Biblical Nutritionist or about the Bible diet, we have an academy, Biblical Nutrition Academy, where you can go and just take the courses at your own pace. You own the courses for the rest of your life, and you can keep going back and just keep reminding yourself, what does God's Word teach me? And so definitely check out 40-Day Transformation. Well, until next time, have an amen day, and I look forward to seeing you again here. Be sure and hit like and subscribe so we can stay connected as the Biblical Nutritionist family. Thanks for watching. Hello, I'm Annette Reeder, the Biblical Nutritionist, and I'm excited to personally invite you to our Biblical Wellness Retreat, October 3rd through the 5th. In 3 John, it says, "I pray you may prosper and be in good health." Well, today's families are struggling with cancer, diabetes, autoimmune issues, viruses, learning issues, infertility, and so much more. Where is the answer to being in good health? In John 15:16, it says these words, "Whatever you ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you." I know you're praying for answers, and I know you're praying for health. Well, my team and I are here to help you see the answers that God has given. The foods that help the body to heal, the design of the cells, and why different foods bring healing and other foods do not. We even have Dr. Jay Hitson coming to share about the inside view of the blood and why that matters so much in our body when we're healthy and when we're not. All of this is to bring you answers that you're praying for at a retreat so you can have fun, you can learn, you can spend time praying, but also we always have fun, food, and fellowship. When you're ready to reclaim your health, join us at the Biblical Wellness Retreat this October 3rd through the 5th, and we have very limited seats, so please don't delay. Click the link down below.